Right, BEL'VETH, let's have a look. Known to be the invading level 2 coin flipping cringe champion, they have shifted her early game, given her a bit more late game. This was a while back, of course. However, we entered into this experience maxing meta, right? Not necessarily AFK farming, but your camps are important within the flow of your jungle. So now, naturally, BEL'VETH players think, oh my goodness, my champion is weak because I can't just gank and coin flip and invade. You can actually sequence pretty damn well. We have here Nidalee getting a little bit caught out on her early rotation, and the reason why I like that is because this game is still going to go the distance. The BEL'VETH will have to 1v9 this game. How do you do that when you don't have the ability to do what most BEL'VETHs were doing, for the better part of 2 years? Also, when you are basically jungling like this and you have no idea what the enemy jungler is doing and they show up late, how do you respect that randomness? How do you deal with that randomness? Now, obviously, you would have seen not free-thinking runes here. Cut down is actually really good on a lot of champions. Things like BEL'VETH, Lilia, Viego all enjoy having that extra upfront damage. Now, and I am, of course, a fan of the Domination secondary page. It does provide a lot of power. I actually said Resolve page, so I had to cut and say that again. Now, we do have the Cassio versus the Aatrox, always seeing mages top lane. I like having the versatility for compositions, but when it comes to team fighting, general sort of structure in the game, I'm not always a huge fan of having it on my team because largely I like to run mages in the jungle, but it's more just about how you want to frontline in team fight. So BEL'VETH in this particular game will have to use a bit of that split push potency, and the Nidalee is now full clearing down. So when you are the BEL'VETH here, this is what's really interesting. When the BEL'VETH player got, 2k LP on EU West rank 1, he did it with this style in the invade coin flip meta. Cassio fully stacked Conqueror, whoa, Aatrox repositions nicely. We go around the corner here, he's gonna stay, we're gonna look for potential dives, this is the at least moment. You don't see the Nidalee for a while, you see that's the thing, the Nidalee doesn't show at 330, like, well, what is she doing? You don't know that she's slow, right? You will eventually figure it out, but not currently at the moment. You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else, as well as all of this hosted in a private jungle Discord. And if there is one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers go from low elo to high elo, as seen by the great number of success stories from the end of last season and already the beginning of season 14. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. Next wave is coming in. Aatrox decides to full commit onto this, and that's always the thing about junglers. Pay attention to that, especially if he's perhaps warded or not. I don't know why there's an MIA ping from the Aatrox saying, why did the BEL'VETH show up? It's just the right play. He tries to turn it before potential dive. BEL'VETH shows up anyway and gets a free kill. Excellent. Always look for that. Nidalee now will cross over here. Our bottom lane, how are they doing? We have Rumble and Jhin in the bot side versus the Nami and the for a second there that looked like it was going to hit. So now BEL'VETH again uncertain of what exactly the Nidalee is doing. We just want to get the timers here on her Grom so we can slap a ward as we go back to base. Boom! We can track the second sequence. Now, the reason why we go back to base there is because we see the Nidalee who was delayed. Again, the benefit of being a bad jungler or being delayed in some capacity. If you now as BEL'VETH overcommit topside or repeat gank this, you will lose this respawn Grom. And because hers is significantly delayed from the respawn, she actually wins out in experience. So it's better just to go back to base and say, oof, better protect my Grom from being stolen. Obviously, you see there, the Nidalee is now in the mid lane. You have to deal with these things, but we are focused on our live into stacks. Remember, yes, you get them from champion kills, but you also get them from monsters. There's the Scat of the Week being dodged by Yone. That's the thing, you want to kind of build this up. You want to build this up. Yeah, that AD nerf on the Q and this kind of stuff, that affects you early. It does. You're going to notice it on your clears. You're going to notice it in the fisting. But it's not going to change much because it doesn't... You don't go from OP early to weak early with a little bit of a nerf like that. You just go down to, well, good or solid or whatever the case may be, depending on the nerf. Now here, we see Aatrox low again. No flash, no TP. We see the Aatrox is going to go, oh, well played, sir, well played. The 530 wave will give him level 6, we know that, but that kill then gives him an early level 6, which is absolutely huge. BEL'VETH decides to cut around any sort of potential vision and just say, well, can I maybe do something about the Aatrox here? I think in this particular case, yes. And that's a lot of what BEL'VETH players don't do enough of here is a W flash. They don't really use that mechanic They make it way too obvious that they're going to go for the flash W. There we go. Beautifully done with that Q into it. Nice, right? Now, Nidalee showed up here and took the Grump. We see that. Cut him back here. Leave the wave. We can go back to our Quadrant. The only way I will compromise my level 6 spike by going for those rotations is, again, 80% probability. If I do not think there's an 80% probability I can go up and get a kill here or something, I will do Raptors, Krugs, and then assess the situation as necessary. BEL'VETH, obviously, higher than 80% in that particular case. 3 kills, no flash, dead Aatrox. Also, if you burn his ultimate, that's huge too. Will end up being down as massive. Nidalee, on the other hand, will sequence down because she's not in a position to fight them, and I love this repeat gank yet again. The E is used from the Aatrox. We'll get that knock up there, auto attack into a Q, into a sucky Q, and that's a dead Darkin Lord. Now, what this does mean is that the Nidalee will go for our blue and will shadow down our bottom side. But again, my philosophy on this patch, the entire thing I've been pushing since 14.10, the first level 6 clears that I spoke about, get 6 on or before the first grub, get your true form. That's for BEL'VETH, that's for everybody, right? We don't get true form on other champions, but same concept, right? I'm happy doing this as my first play and giving up this. Now, what I don't want to do is give up this third rotation camps, and normally you wouldn't, but if you have to gank and you get free objectives and you lose a Grump for it, that's okay. Why? Because we'll go and steal her blue here. We can leave some deep vision again. Nidalee's obviously really far behind. There's his level 6, 737, really compromised. So I don't really mind this BEL'VETH, you know, or any jungler if that happens. We have true form here. We know she just took those camps. Now, it's unlikely you're going to be on spot for this to respawn. So while Nidalee has see, this is now what you perceive as waffling. I also perceive as waffling. But remember, Nidalee just took this. She could easily be taking that, right? From our perspective, easily taking that. These were just taken. These were just taken. Now there's really a lot of dead time. So you can use that to ward, go back to base. You can use that to repeat gank top lane, gank mid lane, as you wish. Really, it's just about determining what you want to accomplish and really going for it. Because a lot of people then, that deep ward scene, you don't really know, right? What exactly, we're waiting for a cash money. You don't really know exactly what you want to do next, and so you do this. You look around here, you go here, then you go here. The BEL'VETH did a little bit of that, right? But then just said, okay, look, there's nothing. I'm just going to go back to base and wait for gold, because then I'll finish the Kraken. What we really wanted was the Kraken. This early finish is worth waiting for a little bit. Nice dodge by the Yona yet again. Gonna go over the wall here to see if the wolf camp was taken. Obviously, if you see the Nidalee, you can track the CS, but really you could look just to go to the top side quadrant and repeat the whole business. But we're fed. All right, we're level 7. Nidalee's really compromised, 0% KP. At this particular stage, I know that, ooh, control ward. Well, the Nidalee doesn't know that we see her, I think, and I don't think she realizes that, hey, this BEL'VETH is Kraken finished. The BEL'VETH is like, well, can I get a reset? Oh, close, well played. That's a little bit, not limit testing, but I see you, I know you see me, but I have this itemization advantage. Can I leverage that for any sort of kill? We could not. Sadly, we could not. That's why, in most cases, I would just go topside quadrant. Because if I can go topside quadrant here, and I see the Nidalee there, I can immediately cut some of this out and just take this again, and gank this again, and maybe gank this. I'm happy taking all of the topside versus trying to fight the Nidalee there. Obviously, if you are BEL'VETH, you're a Kindred, you're a Graves, can we follow, please? And you have this itemization advantage, use it, right? Use it. But with 3-0-0, we have 61 CS. We want to stack up the Lavender. And now, with the dragon being up, there's a Nidalee. Just let her flow. Just don't be counter jungled. There's more than you've already been counter jungled. And keep counter jungling. Yeah, there we go. Now you can just go on down. We know Nidalee's on the top side here. We shouted the mid lane just in case. We should have cleared that earlier, which is an important thing because now they know we're on the dragon versus not knowing. But we don't want to force it then. Obviously, the Rumble roams. Nidalee's going to cut in because, again, they see us. Yona's going to go all the way in. Respect flash there by the BEL'VETH. Sorry, not the BEL'VETH, the Nami. Same thing. Fish people. Well done with this, Syndra. That was good. That was good, but you have to be aware when you go for those Q flash W's, you're using your sucky. The Nidalee's got the heal, she's got the spacing, obviously. Oh, beautiful bubble. We'll take that one. Thank you so much. Couple of assists here. Don't really worry about that too much. We are not concerned about the dragon. I don't care about the dragon. I want 6 grubs. I want a herald. I want to control the game that way. That's how you do business in this meta. Now we go back to the mid lane. There's Ione full on committing, and woo. The Aatrox does roam down here. I feel like we can greed for these a little bit, but as always, when you go for these, not greed, but like just position properly, as always, be aware that your Syndra's in base, your Cassio's top lane, your Nami's mid lane, your ADC's bottom lane. You obviously don't know if the Rumble and the Nidalee and the Aatrox are going to collapse in on you. I'm okay going for it, because as soon as you get one true form reset, true form refreshed, doesn't matter, you can go back over the wall. Now, Dragon will be the next target of focus. We know that those topside camps are down. And really, you're noticing that the BEL'VETH here, we're going to go for 9.6 CS per minute. Yes, you can upfront a lot of that CS PM, depending on your champion, but sometimes, as you see with the BEL'VETH here, we're flowing side to side, we're just ensuring those quadrants are controlled. You look at this scenario, is this an 80% play for me to make, or should I just ditch on down and go to the dragon? She's dead, nothing I can do about it. Except that, yes, you could wait for the Raptors. Don't. Cut down and get the objective. I like this. You do the quadrant, cut down. Sequencing wasn't perfect, but we can still go down here and take this dragon. Nice, nice, nice. Bottom lane here is obviously going to take some plates. Once you've done that, you can fall back into your quadrant here. You see the Aatrox proxying, and now things speed up, especially in a high elo perspective. Well, they'd always be much faster in a high elo perspective. Obviously, the Nidalee is over there now, but we don't really care at this point. We have such a big lead. Almost 30 CS at this stage. She's not really been able to get anything going. Her randomness early, by delay and skill issue, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, basically just gave you the ability to be a solid jungler, and as long as you don't make a big-ass mistake and give her the free pass back into the game, you should keep that advantage. And that's the biggest thing as well. When you have an advantage over an enemy jungler, if the only way they get back into the game is by you making a mistake, think a little bit. Be a bit more patient. Now, dragon taken, 6 grubs taken, absolutely massive for BEL'VETH. Nice full sequence there. We're going for the Swifties. I do like the Swifties. Not gonna lie, I do like them. And a lot of champions. Even on the Warwick, I'm starting to think about it. Movement speed is so potent in this meta when you can not only farm quickly, but not get from camp to camp quicker, get from side to side quicker, get to objectives quicker. Ooh, we have the true form here. Hello, Aatrox. Can I interest you in the good word of the void? We'll just do some auto attacks there and then a sucky. Thank you so much for the refresh. And now Nidalee's like, well, can we do the Herald? Problem is, from Red Team's perspective, we do not have numbers advantage, but our Caitlyn's able to free hit that bottom lane turret because of the grubs. The residual impact of jungle in that was an unfortunate award. The residual impact of jungle in this meta is as strong as I can remember, which means when I make the right play in terms of shutting enemy junglers down, counter jungling, taking grubs and heralds, my team benefits in such a strong way, especially if they're winning lanes. Like this Caitlyn with 6 grubs gets 5 plates in a turret around 14 minutes, right? Now we're looking at a BEL'VETH with 6.8k at 15 and a Nidalee with 4.7. Our level lead is almost level 11. Perfect, right? That's the carry spike on a dime. And with this game state elevation, right, we decided because we're fed, we can push top lane out and take the turret. Great. This crashes here. Cassio rotate over. Rest of the team on the blue side are going to be like, well, we need to offset this pressure. BEL'VETH's like, well, thanks for the Herald. You can honestly play by yourself if you understand map. Even if your team suck, you can, as long as you understand map, you're good, and that's what we're going to talk about from this point onward. The early game was good. Sequencing was solid. Rotations were great. Ganks on a singular lane to shut it down and get fed. Excellent. Topside objectives. Fantastic. Nidalee gave us a free dragon. Not going to complain about that. If I didn't get it, wouldn't complain about that either. Do a bit of a dance for no particular reason. Frozen in time and space as Aatrox, and then another sucky free kill. And look at them, shoving in the Caitlyn here, shoving in the Nami. Come on, guys, we got to take this turret. And all the while, yes, you could rotate. Yes, you could try and do something. Well, why would I really give a crap? Because I'm just farming, stacking my lavender passive. What are we at now? 64, very nice. Nidalee's taking my grump. Okay, didn't ask. Do the top side. Jhin goes mid. TB committed. TP matched. BEL'VETH shows up. Great spacing, in and out all the time. Now, you look at the situation, and this is where, in the private Discord, people are asking about, do you ARAM even a Zyra? I'm like, never. I don't want to sit here and ARAM and not get stronger. So if this scenario right here, from my red team's perspective, is, look, Syndra's there, Nami's coming out of base, we're just going to sit mid lane, I'm not interested. I will control the quadrant, and I can cut back in if necessary and shadow from a flanking angle. If everyone wants to just dance here and think, look, we don't win this fight, I don't really want to be here. You can always split pressure, force a rotation, especially if you can kill someone. And as BEL'VETH, that's even more powerful. Obviously here we've got 2.5k in the pocket, so we want to base more so than do what I just said. But don't feel the need to absolutely sit here and hover around for 20 minutes while people are A-ramming. Your team have to hitbox. Your team are having to think about, they have to think about this as well. They have to think about this as well, right? And have to respect your calls to a certain degree. So back to base here, into the Blade of the Ruined King. Obviously, I'm much more of a do your crack and do your stride breaker kind of stuff here, but the unhit and the slow, we are definitely going to be able to use it this particular game. And I think you can see where we're going a little bit. All right, we're going to have to split bush a bit. This is where the power comes from. So Blade works great since the buffs and the changes on all of those champions that build it. I do recommend still the stride and the Kraken combo. Get your wits end third. That's just a better default way to play. But if you know your limits and you know how to use Blade properly, please do so. Hello, flash auto attack dead, reset on the true form. The Syndra is killed by the Aatrox. You have to be at a stage in the game, here's BEL'VETH, where you honestly don't care about anybody. What a beautiful W into a bubble by the Nami, and the BEL'VETH there takes the Herald. Here we go. This is it. High paced, high paced, high paced. Take everything, nothing can stop you. Q in there. Now people are trying to tell me, because you can't gank a lot, because you can't invade a lot. Whoa, look at this, look at this. It's like the coral reef, 30 years ago. That's depressing. But don't go too far here either. Don't give them sub 20 inhibs where they can just scale up and farm, especially if your team are not ready to finish the game. There's no reason to take an inhib there. This is fantastic. You put them in their base, you take all of their shit, you fall back to the objective. Nice. If you can then drift this, shove this, take all of this, and just siege them. Like in the Middle Ages, siege them out. They will run out of food eventually. And if you keep eating their food, you keep getting stronger, they keep getting weaker. Good old classic, it's called siege for a reason. But this is nice. 2.6k, we bought Blade, came out to the map, took this, right? Rotated and did all of the shenanigans, took this, and now we already got 2.2k in the pocket as well. Lavender Stacks, 85. You keep getting stronger, you keep getting stronger, you keep getting stronger. So, if you think this champ is weak because it's a farming meta, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's why her win rate is so good. Because those who are playing her understand her better than those who gave her up when they had those nerfs. And now, of course, we've got 2 people on the top side, 3 people on the top side. Again, 80% rule. Can I rotate? Can I hold? We got now 2 in the bottom lane. Now Syndra's being killed by the Aatrox. Does this resonate with all of you? I'm sure this resonates with most of you. It resonates with me. But again, that's my whole concept, my mental approach to this meta. Oh, anyway, because you have to be strong enough at 14, 15, 16, all the way up to 20 to handle your business here, right? You have to be able to do these things. Nice interrupt there by the Yone. It's not going to matter. We get the kill there, we get the heal, we get the reset. Now we do have to space. Jin says, shh, knight. That is an unfortunate shutdown and death. But that's where you're making that decision on the lifesteal, the attack speed, that damage over going stride breaker. So that's always a pro and con. It's really, even on the Zyra, let me put it this way. I always take the, you guys should do this as a baseline. If you're better on a champion, you understand the limits, yeah, you can go these other kinds of build, but it's the same on the Zyra. Because I don't like to go Rylai's. Mythic meta was great because I wasn't gated to building the same goddamn 2 items for 10 years. People seem to think it was better, it's better now. No, it's not. If you play these champions for 10 years like I have, and I have to go the Andrews Rylai's 90% of the time, it's absolutely outrageous and boring. I don't do that. I do double burn with Blackfire Torch and Crypt Bloom, and I trust my positioning and skill to not need the HP, and my rep pet does the slow instead of Rylai's, right? Like that's what I've been saying to the pro players who've reached out to me for the Zyra pick. Because the utility is great, but if you draft and play around her in a more carry-focused way, she actually does a lot more than just being the supportive Rylai's jungler. Really, it's true. So, same kind of thing here, right? You're going for the Blade, more skill expression, higher DPS, lifesteal. Look at that, you see? So as long as you understand what you're doing in team fights without the HP and the slows from Stride Break and the Tiamat for the farming, I'm not going to hurt you too much. This is good. So we want to do the Quadrant here and ideally split push. If we see a pick, we take the pick. And now, obviously, once you make that singular pick, you're about BEL'VETH, go and do this. Please, 21-minute Barons, if you can, snack it. It doesn't matter if your team are behind. Look at this. 8.7k gold on the Casio, 8.5 on the Aatrox. We have 11,000. No one is even close to 10,000. This is the kind of 1v9 BEL'VETH can do now if you understand sequencing, mixing it with ganking, and not blindly invading and using counter jungling. And 80% rule, look at this. Now, she could have maybe stayed actually, but in her calculation says, no, I'm leaving. I'm keeping the Baron. They rotated over here. We definitely could have done something here, but that's fine. That's what the 80% rule is. It's I say, no, I don't think it's 80%, therefore I'm going to leave. End of story. Take my camps, make sure I control everything. And if you are a split pushing champion, feel free to abide by this rule. Flash is burned, that's a dead Syndra, should be. Should be a dead Syndra. There it is. Now you go down here. Now you're saying, well, Virkayu, you play Mundo too, right? Yes. Champion was gutted, but I still play him because I'm trying to send a message. Messages, I hate myself, I think, I'm not sure. Point is, well, his, masochism is an ability. The whole thing is, if I were Mundo in this situation too, and I thought this fight was doomed, and I had Baron, I'm bouncing. I've got my Heart Steel. I 99% have something that allows me to hit turrets really, really quickly with my E, and I would go ahead and apply this pressure here with Baron, which now forces the Nidalee to respect it, which means we can then go back to base. Buy, next to Itemization, is in fact the Stride Breaker. We're going for third, not second. That's all discussion here, right? You can forsake the blade if you're not snowballing as much and just go Wit's End. But of course here, this minimal, rumble in Nidalee. But, it's good anyway. Point being, you force pressure rotation, you can join your team again. Now, 9.4 in the Caitlyn. Jhin shows up, there's Aatrox over the wall. What we do is we go for the target we know we can kill. Beautiful Q usage. Beautiful Q usage and exquisite Stride Breaker usage there as well. Nice pick by the blue team. Now we do need to run away as fast as we can. We're out of the zone, perfect. We see the Yona splitting bot lane. This is all okay. Now we're not able to get a full-on pressure macro going just yet, but we're 211 CS out of 23 minutes because of the waves we're pushing and the farming we're doing. Hello, Yone. Good night, Yone. Get E sucked. And now, of course, they'll see 3 bots, so they say, okay, we gotta push mid lane. There's a dragon available. And if you're the BEL'VETH, you can say, have the dragon. Like, you can honestly just give the dragon here. I have no issue with people giving the dragon up as it spawns. We see the numbers disadvantage that we have at the moment. The Syndra, for some reason, is like, I want to die. And the Nami respawns here. She's pinging us. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do here? You 3v1 caught out. Cassius bottom lane resetting. Just give it up. I think I would probably think about my blue and 2 walls just to protect the quadrant, but that's a ranged thing. I don't have to face check with my whole body, so I can just kind of have a poke and look, and if it's there, I'll take it. BEL'VETH's case, go back to base. We will begin to build Wit's End and see how that goes. Crashing wave again. Control your sideways, man. If you're a BEL'VETH, if you're Mundo, it doesn't matter what you play. A Kindred, any jungler, control the side waves. If you control the side waves and have that push power, it does so much for your ability to carry games. And now because we leave the base here perfectly, we can set a trap. I like this too. Here we go, scanning to see. Hello. Make sure you go into burst the Edge of Night before you try and use it. Oh my goodness gracious me. The passive was really big there. Whoa! That's the moment right there. You see that? What do we have? 110 live under stacks. Passive going absolutely crazy. Choking up out of the fact that I'm seeing a BEL'VETH be played properly. This is how you play BEL'VETH like a good jungler. It is so much more satisfying to watch map control, split push, giga BEL'VETH play rather than, hey, I did Raptors into your red, haha, hello. Or I did Raptors into your blue and grump, hello. Like, I hate that so much. It's really stupid. That's why people hate BEL'VETH. But BEL'VETH played well is astronomically powerful. Really is. Let's look at some of the stats we got here. Once we finish, again, you got the mites with 6 grubs. You got the almost it's Sephora. Goodness gracious, that's a wife thing there. Remora. I literally had to stop and look it up. Goodness gracious me. Anyway, Remora. So you got the mites and the Remora floating around. It's really just so disgusting. Anyway, some of the numbers we're looking at here: 3 or 5 on each Q pass through, which that's pretty good. We're looking at 382 on the knockup. Our E-Sucky at this particular point is doing 32 to 128 based upon targets missing HP, always good, and 55% damage reduction, maxed out at this particular stage. But here is where we're looking at the Mega Juice. Oopsie. Can we stay on the screen, please? There you go. Can you see that? There you go. Ghosted. Next 2 attacks, 38% attack speed. 1 live under stack. We're looking at this particular point, 114 bonus attack speed. Crazy DPS. Look at this. For all the old guys in the chat, you know, the Versock Pyronage thing. Yeah, most of you won't know that one. This is exactly what that looks like. Versock. Pyronage, look it up. You guys want to learn about classical gaming and esports. Probably like a documentary at this stage. Anyway, The whole point of building like this, we actually don't go into the wits end there initially, we go into the Jack Show. I'm not always a huge fan of allowing ranged champions as a side point to go Jack Show, but in the BEL'VETH here, for the survivability, it's huge, but again, it doesn't really do anything. And you're looking at this here, that this is the risk of giving up your beliefs. I do this as well. At some point, you're like, you know, maybe I should try and close this game out. 100% this should be a closed game next, right? You don't have an inhib from the Baron. The Baron's spawning within a minute here. The Dragon is completely irrelevant to me. The Caitlyn's over here. The Syndra's over here. Why are we shadowing this Cassio? There is literally zero reason to shadow this Cassio right now, because you know the whole enemy team is only going to see this snake on the bottom side and be like, because they can't think about anything else. They have to go for Cassio. And because your team are just basing, you have numbers disadvantage. Now, we built this thinking, well, you know, I have the resistances and, you know, it should help me live a little bit. I still am a wit's end, Death's Dance, G-Abe, enjoy when it comes to this phase of BEL'VETH. I don't really feel like this is going to do anything. As you see, you die anyway. Like, it's not like you're unkillable because of it. You might as well embrace the chaos of actually having itemization that accentuates your damage and survivability as well. Now, regardless, doesn't really matter what you build. We go in all onto the Aatrox here. We're able to actually get that kill. We get the reset, which is fantastic. But Yona goes in now. It's just a huge numbers disadvantage. And if the Cassio wants to split beyond, like pinging the Caitlyn here is dumb. You see the ping on the Caitlyn that happened? That's not her fault. The Caitlyn is not playing the game properly, sure. But you have to control your own mental according to that, right? If someone keeps missing their assignment, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting it to change. Like, they're missing their assignment, right? Like, they're not doing their job, so I can't do my job there. I have to do something else. In this particular case, if Cassio's going to force rotations, I want to shove this up. They're going to rotate up. I'm going to take all of this, so I'm just going to fall back to the Baron. Or I will just solo the Baron if they send 4 people to the Cassio, right? That's the problem. So this game is going to be slow to end now because of one singular mistake by the BEL'VETH. And she's hugely fed. There's no reason to go for that. And as I said in the Viego gameplay, the last one, I coached the Viego this week, and he did very low damage, lowest on his team. But he won the game because he did like 10,000 turret damage and just played the split game. He could not team fight against enemy combat. I said, just don't do it. Let's just play the pressure game. If your team get caught out, go for the inhib, right? You keep pressure, and they can never end if you do it properly. The good split push with a champion who needs 2 people to kill him is incredibly potent. See, look at this free Baron. Jin's ulting. There's the Aatrox again. Nami's trapped. Again, BEL'VETH says, whoa, I'm going to go for the wall, but then in fact does help kill the Yona. Gets a reset here, observing. Now we have 3 alive, 2 dead. They have 4 up. Oh, the strike breaker into the flash, into the Q, into the auto attacks. Very well done. In the meantime, Syndra dies too, so whoo. Don't team fight if you don't have to team fight. Give up your teammates' lives if it means you get turrets, nexuses, objectives. Right. Aatrox is dead. We're going to push this out. We got the Remora plus the Mites. Oh no, they took a dragon. Why are they pinging help? Like, you see, they even in Hilo here, they don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter about the dragon. Who gives a shit? Look at this push here, right? You've got numbers, 2 dead, they went into the dragon. So we'll take this turret for free. Nice. And if they misposition here, like Nidalee shows here, I was going to kill the Jhin. But obviously Rumble's up, and that's a lot of damage now from the Jhin. So the Jack Show is a good build. There is nothing wrong with building it whatsoever in this particular situation. Gold amount, 3,000. So we'll finish off our itemization. Actually, yeah, this is a good thing. I was going to talk about this. Terminus. I was looking at a couple games, so I think I crossed what items we were going. But yes, Terminus here gives you that shred, it gives you the magic resist and that armor stack with the Jack Show. In synergy, nice combination. So that's another avenue you can go. I personally haven't enjoyed the feel as much, even though they are goated and amazing. So again, there's a little bit of personal preference. Hello Aatrox, nice W there. Passives are ridiculous. 138, the bonus attack speed. This one, 139 bonus attack speed. And this passive here, absolutely nutty. That's actually, I'm looking for that passive there on the top there. You see it's a true damage one. I wanted to show you guys that one, 40 true damage. Stacking infinitely. So that's from a level 6 perspective. With the attack speed you have, plus the passive on the ult there. Woo! You know, when she came out, I enjoyed playing like this. I played a lot of BEL'VETH when she came out, when she wasn't considered this cringe champion. Because being able to play like this at a balanced approach and control the entire game was just such a dopamine hit. And when, of course, she went into that really weird early cheese invade strategies, I just stopped playing it completely. I don't really play it as much these days either, but this is my preferred style as well. Itemization is great. Good Zonya's there by the Nidalee, but you're still dead with the Isaki into the key auto attacks, dead. This is fine, you can just roam around. Damage to champions 207 on this one. Jack Show doesn't give us a passive anymore. We're slow to close. And honestly, I do believe we're slow to close because we did not maximize this Baron here. And the enemy team is doing a very good job team fighting around us. And the Nidalee is just really not doing anything, but it's irrelevant. Obviously, with 2 dead here and respawns, we want to try and cut out the Aatrox. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Just push the wave. Just push the wave. There we go. Does have TP available. All you have to do now in these moments, I know it looks a little bit slow to close, and again, as I said, it is. That's fine. Just keep the macro up. Just keep the macro up. Dehydrated. Keep the macro. Wave. Catch wave. There we go. This is where you really get your CSPM. Just ignore your team here. They're really traffic counts at this particular stage. Like, who's really... I mean, the Cassier's done a lot of damage. She will do a lot of damage, but she's got 14,000 gold. The Aatrox, like, a whole team is in a really good position. A gold advantage is 5k, but it's all in the BEL'VETH. The BEL'VETH has a 9k gold advantage. You are the singular entity that's going to carry this team. And that's the whole point of BEL'VETH. And it's nice to know you can do it with just farm control, balanced jungling, and a bit of split push macro. Obviously, you're trying to force him to rotate over. With this build, you are still killable. You see 3 mid lane here. You see 2 top lane. We wait, sag off. We fake. We go into the Fnatic brush, and Aatrox apparently has never heard of that term whatsoever. The Isaki. We're not going to go in there. We force 3 to rotate. Push, please. This is what we want. There you go. There you go. Come on, Cassia. Push. There we go. Neither forced to deal with those 2. Rumble comes and holds this and wave clears here. Just goes all in onto the Rumble. The Zonya. No, the Isaki. Oh, I think we're dead. I think we died. Well, you know, it's a really good game. There you go. Thank you so much. It's a really good game. All 3 deaths were a little bit suspect. That one there was just a little bit too far deep. But I think we could have just hit the turret. Like, at that point, just hit the turret, kill it, and then kill the Rumble, and then you won't die to the Yone. But that is as 1v9 as it gets. Hopefully you can see why. Itemization full build. Really like it. I still suggest maybe a bit more conservative in the first 3 items for the rest of you until you get to the stage where you can really control the early game like this. But S+ build, S+ champion, don't even need to invade anymore. Nice, no?